Picture a 14-year-old kid. Glasses, long unkept hair, pretty much Justin Bieber without a stylist whose mother probably shouldn't have let him dress himself. You're almost there. He's a little bit shorter and his hair's a little bit longer. But he's got a good home, 2 parents that love him, sister that's relatively tolerable. His family's not rich, but they're not poor either. Basically, I just want you all to know that I'm normal-ish. But really, I don't have some traumatic past. I wasn't abused as a child. My parents are together to this day, and I didn't lose a family member in an accident. Nothing. There should have been no reason for me to ever face depression, but there doesn't always have to be a reason. Life can take a perfectly good individual, chew them up, and spit them out a broken and lonely teen. Life really hurts sometimes, so don't assume that just because someone doesn't look like they're feeling pain, that it's impossible for them to feel pain. I just finished middle school. Yay, awkward phase. Next up is high school. It's big, it's crazy, and it's new. But long story short, I went into high school really alone. I didn't have many friends, and girls were a language I hadn't even started to decipher. Family was rough at best, and the house felt like a war zone more often than not. Time took its toll, and my will started to fade. A thought crept in. It was dark, yeah, but what did I have to lose? And well, I gave up. It wasn't really that I wanted to die, but more that I couldn't bear the thought of living any longer. So one night before bed, I decided that was it. Life wasn't worth it. There was no hope, no good left in the world, nothing worth fighting for, no light at the end of the tunnel, nothing, only darkness. And so I took what for many is the final step in a life cut far too short. On the night of October 23rd, 2012, I attempted to take my own life. Now I'm going to put my story on pause for just a minute and share a few of the numbers of suicide with you. In 2012, there were 41,149 suicides. Do the math out, which I did. That works out to be about 1 suicide every 13 minutes. In 2012, there were also 491,169 people admitted to the hospital for self-inflicted injuries. A 2013 high school survey showed that 17% of students had considered taking their own lives in the year preceding the survey, and 8% of students had attempted to take their own lives. Now back to my story. I'm here, so something didn't go as planned. I woke up. I got a second chance at life. And whatever you believe in, be it fate, God, karma, or something else altogether, there had to be a reason. But it wasn't butterflies and rainbows all of a sudden. I didn't immediately become enlightened or understand the purpose of life. It was hard, it took time, and it was a process. Like any other kind of healing, there were times when it hurt far worse, and times when I questioned if I'd be able to push through it all. But I had to get help bit by bit. First, it was a friend I reached out to. She talked me through understanding I was worth it and how something like this could happen. Then I talked to my parents, and however hard that may have been, it was such an important step to healing. I also spoke with a therapist. Unlike the stereotypes, they don't poke and prod you with questions you don't want to answer. They have a conversation with you, and they take genuine concern in your well-being. So, today, I'm completely in love with being alive. Sure, I still have my bad days. I still get just as frustrated and grumpy as all of you do. But I love living. I'm in the middle of my senior year, getting ready to go to college. The lonely kid I used to be wouldn't know what to think of the incredible group of friends I'm surrounded by now. And the kid who understood girls as well as aliens, he'd be pretty proud of the 7th-month relationship he's going strong with. See, life is hard, and there are bumps in the road. But more than any point I'm going to share or wisdom I'd hope to leave you with, remember this: it's worth it. Life is worth it. Despite all its imperfections and mistakes, despite how hard you have to fight and how easy it would seem to give up, living is by far the most precious commodity that this world has to offer. Now, what are our rules? because we're not bystanders. We have a role as vital as the therapists or the doctors, because many times, and most times, there are signs. People don't become depressed in a day, and there are clues, hints visible if you're paying attention: dropping grades, lack of social life, withdrawal from family and friends, and most commonly, depression. All these seem pretty obvious, and so why is suicide still an issue? Why aren't people being saved? Why does the plague claim more lives instead of less? And why does it spread year after year? It's because we're afraid. What if that person is suicidal and you try and get them help and you fail? What if you have to sit with the weird kid at lunch? Or, God forbid, what if you have to spend 20 minutes a day talking to your loved ones to see how they're actually doing? Well, what if? What if you do nothing? What if more people die? What if you lose someone you love? What if you know you could have helped? Because the future doesn't look too bright. Mine is a generation plagued by suicide and self-harm. Suicide rates are at their highest point in 30 years, and the problem is not going away, so stop being so afraid to fail that you refuse to even try and fight to save a life. And lastly, I'm going to go after society for a minute. Because who decided that suicide was taboo? Who decided that it was to be shushed up in the hallways or that it would go unmentioned in the campuses of this nation? Who decided it couldn't be talked about openly? Because they're killing my people and I've had enough of it. Suicide is not something to be feared. Instead, it is fear itself manifested in the most deadly of forms. And so it must be fought. War must be declared on it as war is declared on poverty or social injustice. It must be fought day in and day out, but it was never meant to be fought alone. So stop being so afraid and start loving a little more, because I believe in all of us, and we just have to believe in ourselves. Thank you.